Oh, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 520 of FloWrestling Radio Live. I'm your host, Christian Piles, joined once again by our fearless co-host from West Virginia. He's back. Stephen Kyle Brackey, back in the mix. How are you, Kyle?
I'm good. It's good to be back. It was a while.
It's good to have you back. Kyle, he emerged into HQ with good energy. He's got a banger of an alien hour for you. He's been
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's going to be...
It's fire.
It's good. And it's a little bit, Ben, a little retribution, maybe a victory lap here for Kyle as, he was laughed at. He was mocked openly for one of his alien hours, and he has been vindicated, proven right on a previous alien hour, and we're going to get into that as well as another topic. So wait for that. But first, let's check in with Ben Askren. Ben, how are you?
I'm doing outstanding this morning. CP, you'd be proud of me. I figured out how to do the thing on my TV with Flow, and you know what? It was really easy. Here's what happened: my kid was watching Paw Patrol or some jam he was watching on TV.
Yeah.
And I sat down. I'm like, well, I told CP I'm going to watch one of these interviews. I chose to watch Clinton Wright because I've heard a lot of David Taylor, and I never listened to Clinton Wright for that long, so I was curious, right? And so I turned on the Clinton Wright interview, and it says, my phone says, "Would you like to put this on the Fire TV?" And I said, "That's an option. I can do that." So,
Ben,
I didn't do it.
It is really mind-blowing to me, like the idea of the apps and the TVs are so easy now and you watch so much wrestling and wrestling content. I couldn't believe you haven't figured out the TV component. It is very easy.
Yeah, I'm not super technologically savvy, Christian. So
I'm actually surprised to learn that.
I don't spend a lot of time on the TV, almost none. So it's like figuring out how to put my kids' shows on for them and whatnot. Besides that, I pretty much stay away from the TV. So yeah, I hadn't figured that out. I knew you guys. I always heard you guys talk about Apple TV. Literally, when you told me yesterday, I thought Apple TV was an Apple TV, like Apple made a TV. I didn't know. I mean, I just don't care about TVs. I don't know what you want me to tell you.
Well, no, no, it's cool. It's good you don't know that much. I was surprised you didn't know what Apple TV was. It's not new. It's like I remember when I was a teacher in 2012, they had Apple TV there, the little black box thing.
And the whole time I thought it was a TV.
Someone said in the Facebook chat, I don't think Ben knows that it's not a real TV. And I was like, no, there's no way. And then 30 seconds later, you admitted you didn't know it was a TV.
I had no idea.
You know what? If Apple did make an actual television screen, I bet that would be very expensive.
Yeah.
You would be correct. Yeah. But it's just a box, just like a Roku.
Well, I figured they made some type of TV and maybe it was interactive or had a touch screen or something pretty cool.
Yeah, it probably would be if they did do that. Well, hey, some not cool stuff going on. Daggone Stanford. Horrible news. They announced that after the 2021 season, they will be discontinuing their wrestling program, which is a real shock. And as is often the case, seemingly, it's like the team's performance rarely has hardly anything to do with it. ODU is a great program, dropped. Stanford, excellent program, and they're about to have and still could have, their best season next year with the talent they have coming.
Eastern Michigan just had a really good season with an All-American and was looking up. Boise State has always been a solid program.
So
but I think, Christian, what that points to, and a lot of wrestling people are confused about this, is that the competitiveness or the success of the program is probably not one of the major factors on whether they keep it or not. I mean, unless you're obviously in Iowa, Oklahoma State, etc.
Yeah, absolutely. And part of the first question that you have is okay, is this for sure? Because it wouldn't be the first or second time that a program has announced it was dropping and then it didn't drop. Cleveland State had done this. Arizona State actually did this. Ben, you probably remember that. Stanford, apparently, this has happened to them as well. Mm-hmm. They said they were going to drop.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't know that.
I
didn't either. Someone told me yesterday. Shout out Coach Clemson in Maryland. He explained it to me that happened. So I didn't realize that. Wow. And so it makes me somewhat I would not say hopeful, but I wouldn't completely rule out that the door is shut. But I'm just totally basing that on there's at least some precedent there, and Coach Borelli, etc. I believe they're gonna fight this. They're not just gonna take it lying down like maybe we've seen at other places.
Yeah. So, I mean, man, this is and then obviously the other thing we saw yesterday was all Ivies pushed sports. There's no sports first semester, so I'm assuming this means no practice also, or just no. I don't understand exactly what this means. But man, higher education's in a dangerous place right now, and for a multitude of reasons. Right, number one, the value might not be there for a lot of people. Number two, student loan debt bubble is as big as it has ever been in history. And then number three, Harvard, I think they're going to kill themselves. They're putting all their classes online and charging the same price. People are going to figure out, damn, I could pirate these classes. I could probably just watch these classes somewhere else. And I don't got to pay $50,000. I can still get the same education. So higher education, I feel like it's in a really dangerous place right now.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the economics or finances of institutions of higher learning, but it seems like they're getting crushed right now. But that's also true for so many, businesses in America today. So I don't know how much you can attribute to just total financial mismanagement, which is, I believe, what we had at ODU and what we have at Stanford. It's just like you're just bad with what you have.
Cleveland, it's not Cleveland. Christian, they have a $27 billion endowment. Like, what are the rules on spending endowments? Because you'd think at some point, if you're having a hard time, you could spend, I don't know, half a bill and probably still have, enough interest being generated. Yeah, I mean, so, for half a billion, you could fund wrestling for 100 years.
So they pretty much said, like, it looks like we have an endless supply of money, but we don't, because much of that endowment it has to go to certain things. Like, it's
the endowment thing is so weird because they all have these fancy endowments, right? All the Ivies and Stanford, $27 billion. I don't know if y'all have seen the Kevin Hart stand-up bit where he's talking about the way my bank account works. Like, he's trying to make it sound like he's not completely.
See,
broke.
what happened was,
my checking and my savings account. If you know the bit, you'll know it's like, man, you got all this money, but the way your bank account works, you can't bail out Stanford. Wrestling.
So
that doesn't really make sense.
I believe this is their athletic director talking, but he said, yes, Stanford has a significant endowment, but we also have to keep in mind that most of those dollars are restricted. The staggering numbers you see are restricted in nature, so we don't receive the dollars from that.
So the way their bank account works, we can't, got the money. Like, we have it, believe me. We have $27 billion, but we can't so much.
It says
we can't get all spendy with it.
The vast majority of Stanford's endowment is directed towards specific long-term uses, including need-based financial aid for students. It is not available to backfill an ongoing structural budget deficit in a specific department.
And it sounds like Stanford, Space said this or quoted this, that basically they look at athletics as just kind of like a separate, it's only for the brand, right?
Yeah,
just growing the brand. It's for the marketing of the institution. It's not really, it's like almost like it's not part of the school in a way, the way they view it.
Yeah, they said, in general, athletics has been a self-sustaining entity on our campus. We are striving to preserve that model in a time budgetary support for our academic mission is already under significant stress. I thought there was more about the brand in here. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but maybe someone can educate me more. I can listen to a podcast or something. But I know what I've heard a lot is that these endowments act like a tax shelter for super rich dudes. Their money can go tax free or something. I don't know exactly how that works. I don't know if that means that they can pull that back out sometimes. But so from what I kind of gather, and again, I haven't looked deeply at this, but a lot of the endowments maybe sit with stock or something, right? So it's not actual, like you said, it's not a dollar bill in their bank account. It's here's 1,000 shares of Apple or something to that effect.
Yeah, could be something like that.
Yeah, I would need to be more well versed in the topic before I wanted to put that all the way out there.
So the questions immediately, as wrestling fans, we discussed the business aspect and like the overall, but we think about the wrestlers, right? What's going to happen with them?
Yeah.
What's going to happen? And what's going to happen with our best wrestlers? Real Woods, Shane Griffith, Jaden Abbas. I think Nathan Traxler has another year anyway, so he could finish out.
I think he'll be done after this year.
So he could just finish out and be done, which is, I guess, if you want to find a good thing, that would be one. So, what happens to these guys? Does Real Woods say, Izzy put out a posting, of course he coached Real and they're very close, like made an Instagram post like, hey, maybe straight to MMA now.
Wow.
Griffith was in a NJ.com article where he basically said, he's kind of assessing the situation right now. Jaden Abbas, I don't know where he would look. Obviously, he has some ties back to Fresno, but he didn't look there initially. And the academics of Stanford were obviously a big draw for Jaden, so you can imagine that he's going to look for something that somewhat replicates that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So none of these people are okay. So they have one more year as a program, right? Does that mean Real Woods and Shane Griffith are going to wrestle one more year? Or they're gone right now.
They could. Like I said, they haven't made. Shane said he hadn't made any decision. Right? They found out yesterday, so they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
But they could remain there and wrestle and do the NCAA thing one more year for Stanford.
Yeah. So with the Ivies, did you guys look more into this? Is it no practice? Is it no games? What's the full scope of the Ivy?
So I'm going to go back and read it right now, but I believe when I read it first, they can do practices as long as you're following the guidelines put in place by the conference and your school. So, like, depending on where your school is and how big the hot zone is or whatever, I'll confirm that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, because that's so obvious. That means, I mean, if there was ever a time to move wrestling to a one-semester sport, well, it's right about now. I mean, we've been talking about it for 20 years. I've been hearing this rumor for 20 years. I mean, might as well just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hate that, Christian, or what?
They'll be able to practice.
I don't know. I don't know what I think.
You're just mad at the world right now.
No, I'm not. I'm very happy.
Go away, Corona. Go away.
It is jamming us up a little bit here.
It's depressing. Like yesterday when this happened, I wasn't even like mad. It was just like, what the heck? I can't even do anything. I don't know.
And it's like when you think of something like, there aren't many institutions in America as prestigious as Stanford, right? In terms of the brand and everything. You think, man, you want to think of a school that's got it together. Just in all facets, it's Stanford. Like, they are hammers athletically, just in general, right? Not just in wrestling. They are good at a lot of sports. They're one of the most respected academic institutions. They seem like they have it all. So for this to happen, it's just like, it's one thing when it's ODU and it's kind of a smaller school and they, total financial mismanagement as they try to become a player in D1 football and falling on their face, right? But with this, it's like you just don't expect that with something like this, and it makes you wonder, wait, what else could happen here?
Yeah. Do you think, Christian, do you have the same feelings as me that higher education's in trouble, or you just want to, you don't want to discuss that topic?
Well, I don't know. Why would I think? I don't think it's in trouble in the sense of relative to the whole landscape, right? Like, if you basically end the business in many ways, which is what happened. Yeah,
Sure.
There's good things that are going to happen that are bad. So how much do you attribute to this is an unprecedented global pandemic and there was an economic shutdown and there's no students versus how poorly they're mismanaged? Because, I mean, there's not many businesses in the world that can withstand a shutdown for 6 months, right? There's no modeling for something like that. So I don't know. I'm not ready to say that the academic institutions of higher learning are just like overall completely flawed.
Okay, fair enough.
So
how about We Are episode 3?
Well, yeah. So it's funny. Yesterday should have been a day. It was a day of mostly good stuff, right? It's like, man, we announced another match. Roman Bravo Young versus Jack Mueller. We signed another match, which we're going to announce tomorrow.
You guys keep me on the loop. I can't believe you. I don't even know if we're friends anymore, Christian.
Loose ships sink lips, Ben. You got to be careful there.
I think you got that backwards.
No, that is the saying. That's the saying. No, yeah, okay. I'll hit you up. Maybe I'll text you right now. I don't know.
Okay,
but,
that'd be fun.
Yeah. So we're excited about Roman versus Mueller.
What weight is that at? I'm excited about it, but what weight is it?
137.
Really?
Yes.
And do you feel like that's a huge size disadvantage for Jack Mueller? Because obviously he wrestled 125 and he wrestled 55 kg.
I would bet money at the time of the signing that Jack Mueller weighed more than Roman Bravo Young. I can't prove that. I would almost guarantee it. Yes. Jack Mueller is a big yes.
Okay.
That's just that's my thought. So no, I don't think it's a disadvantage for anyone. I don't think it's a big pull for Roman, and I'm pretty sure Jack Mueller's gonna have to come down a little bit, but we'll find out. We can just ask him. So it's cool because we got immediately. People are so fired up about this here at Flow. We got 2 people going to Arizona this weekend to do stuff with Roman. We've got Mike and another shooter headed to New Jersey to do a shoot with Jack and maybe some other people. I don't know. So we got a lot more good stuff coming for the July 25th event. We had We Are episode 3, and then freaking Stanford kind of really harshes the vibe, bro.
Harshes the mellow.
Yeah. So what'd you think of episode 3? Only compliments though. Otherwise, we'll have you hang
Well,
up.
okay. So overall,
we will create an echo chamber of positivity.
My line will be mysteriously cut. You know what? Quentin Wright said this, and I feel the same way. It's like, great. It was great content, but I felt like it didn't go deep enough. I felt like you could have went so much deeper on some of these topics, and it felt. And you know what? Honestly, you guys had a tough job. If you're going to jam all this into, I think it was a total of an hour and 40 minutes. I think between the 3 shows, if you're going to jam that all into an hour and 40 minutes, telling the story of Nolf and Nickel and Rutherford and Ruth and Taylor and also Kale. It's tough, right? It's a lot of stories to tell in a relatively short amount of time. And so it's like, Quentin made the point that you could have, some of these stories could have been significantly deeper, and I felt the same way. And honestly, like all of those athletes, they are kind of they're legendary, right? I mean, you could probably make an hour and 40 minutes about any of those guys, let alone all 5 of them, plus the Kale / Penn State dynamic together.
Right. So there's nothing but negativity from Ben Askren here.
It was great. It was great. I just want more. I want more. That's it.
Yeah. So what's interesting, it's like the film is basically kind of encapsulates the 10 years, right? And like if you were going to tell the story of 10 years of Penn State wrestling, this is how you would do it. And everything you could go deeper in. But there's a couple of things that prohibit you from going a little deeper. One is conversations with the people, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes it a lot tougher. And so you're trying to simultaneously service fans that are just a lot of wrestling fans don't know how everything kind of came to be in the early days of Penn State, as weird as that is. For someone like Quentin and you and I and Bracky, there wasn't really a ton that was maybe unearthed because we literally live this, right? And this is all we think about all the time. Fair. So, but for a lot of wrestling fans, and what we're seeing is like for our subscribers who we're so thankful for, this is like what they were looking for exactly. So for sure, I would love to get into more of that. Let's go deeper on Quentin's sophomore year. And he's talking about how, hey, they were trying to make him be the Cale Sanderson mold and learn how to ankle picks. And when he went back to his roots of throwing and he got kicked out of his house, he says, and all that stuff. Yeah, I'd love to go deeper there and deeper with all these guys. And Soriano, that was like a lot of drama there, right? And certainly.
Hey, so Quentin, I didn't realize Quentin was such like a BSer. Like that dude was a talker.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just get him going. He just blah blah blah. I mean, he just kept going. It was a fun interview to listen to. He almost told us a few of Cale's secrets, and it was overall a really good interview. But I only heard him a handful of times, and he never struck me as a talker. And you guys put a microphone in front of him, and bam, he just started talking.
Yeah, he was ready to go. The Kale fundamentals. Imagine if we knew what those were. Oh my gosh. Do you think it's that simple? Learn these.
I mean, he obviously oversimplifies it because there are plenty of guys who go to Penn State and who are not successful, so it's not that easy. But yes, obviously, I think it would probably be, oh, damn. Do you guys want to go deep into the philosophy of wrestling, or should we just move on?
No, I think people would hate that. Come on.
So I should go. Okay, well, it's one of those things, and I think we almost had this relatively exact discussion a couple weeks ago. I told you about one of my athletes asking me a question, and it's almost like, okay, the basic. If we just think the basics of wrestling: good stance, sprawls, a good shot, a solid finish, a good breakdown, a good escape, right? A good stand up, sit out, quad pods, something to that effect. And would you guys say that's a really good basics of wrestling?
Yeah.
That's fair. Okay. And so if you had a college guy who did all of those really well, very high level, they're going to be relatively good. I mean, I think of a guy who doesn't really scramble, who still is really high, is Nick Soriano, right? I mean, his positioning and basics are so good that he doesn't need to go all that much deeper all that often, and he still wins. But those people are few and far between. And so with the Kale fundamentals, it's like, okay, what else is there? And that's where I think a lot of college coaches kind of stop teaching at that level. They don't delve super deeply because they do understand if they can get guys good at those basics that I just said, that's going to get them a relatively good amount of success. If they're also strong, if they also have a lot of toughness, they're going to be relatively good, right? But then that next level is that comfort level in every position, that fearlessness. And so I would be interested, I would venture, this is where my mind took me. Kale fundamentals, I almost think maybe it's not a set of moves. It's more of like a philosophical approach to keep wrestling through positions, try stuff in practice before you try them in matches, like a whole bunch of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not moves, but it's more of like philosophy of style.
Yeah, maybe it's something like that, or maybe it's like there's a few positions that you're always like trying to get to or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, so like the answer position would be a position that, dude, so I don't want to say 50% of scrambles, but a gigantic proportion of scrambles end up in the answer position. Some way, shape, or right? There's a lot of different shapes and forms.
I don't think we've ever talked about the answer position, so you're going to have to elaborate on that.
So the answer position is something I made up in 2005, 6, somewhere back then, because at that point, you shoot a single leg, right? Okay, here's the deal. You shoot a single leg. They sprawl on you. You essentially have 3 ways to go. You can cut the corner this way, you can cut back this way, or you can go through the middle, right? And what you'll find with high-level folk style wrestling is that a lot of people are going lift the middle, and this could be on your knees or your butt, right? Your choice. Jake Herbert, for example, went here like every single time because against a good guy, a really good guy, it's really hard to get an angle to go one way or the other way. It's possible, it's just hard. So a lot of times you end up going up the middle. But when you go up the middle, they can grab your body, they can drape your crotch, they can grab your ankles. There's a lot of holds for them to grab, right? And so your basic moves, your push-off double, your spin the middle, those things won't work if they're grabbing you, okay? And so obviously, especially in the Missouri room in the, say, 2004, 5, 6, 7 era, we were doing a whole lot of scrambling. And so none of those, you lift the middle, none of those moves that we previously worked anymore. So Max and I essentially created this system where, and there's a couple different versions of it, like I said, but you bring the leg, you bring it across, you put them on their hip, and then you hook it and you push the leg off the top, right? I mean, Christian, you will see this moving like probably 50% of college wrestling matches.
Yeah.
But now there's so many scrambles off this. There's, when I dump them, they can grab my ankle, they can grab the crotch, they can grab my top ankle or my bottom ankle there, which is near or far depending on how you're looking at it. Also, they can grab to the crotch there. There's just a whole bunch of things that can half evolve that, and then when they grab the crotch, I can pivot back, they can swim under the leg, and there's all these things that can happen from there. And so in folk style season, it's not quite as relevant in freestyle season because you can bump them to their back and score a relatively easy 2 points. I mean, some guys are better than others than not going to the back. But like when we're in folk style season, in my really advanced class, we spend a lot of time scrambling in that position because I really feel for guys to be successful shooting single legs at a high level, they have to have a huge level of comfortability in that position. And if they don't, they're just never going to finish it ever.
And so the reason you brought up the answer position is because you think so much like Kale and his fundamentals would probably involve that position, or like how you wrestle out of that position.
Yeah, what you said, if there's scrambles that you end up in a lot, and like that's one, right? And so obviously, like far ankle, you actually mentioned that in your thing. The other thing that Max and I are playing around with, way back in 2005-06, it's like that's another thing. Like at the collegiate level right now, if you don't know that, you kind of look like a dope, And now there's a whole bunch of what we were doing in 2005-06. It's expanded vastly, right? There's a lot more options and a lot more things you can do from there. But you got to know outside ankle or far ankle, whatever you want to call it. And like you can get into a far ankle from an answer. You can get into an answer from a far ankle, right? I mean, these positions, they're very circular in nature, meaning like a lot of them lead to a lot of others. And it's like this goes to this, and they just keep coming back to each other. And so there's really only, I would say 3 or 4 main positions that you have to have an understanding of, but those 3 or 4 positions, they're all like octopuses, right? They're all there's this and this and this and this. They have all these legs of them.
Got it. Thank you for that thorough explanation. So the answer position is.
Were you bored by that?
No, not at all. Okay. I was trying to keep up with all the mental pictures you were painting. So the answer position, if there was a picture of it, it's not. Yes. Is it just coming out the back door and like when the guy sat down and you're looking like scooped ankle?
Answer position, no deep, right? What we're talking about, they don't defend us. I just get it. Say they wrap the waist. I lift them, they wrap the waist, right? Which would be the easiest one for me. And so I can do 2 ways. I can grab ankle and outside the leg because I was on a single, I lifted it. So I can grab ankle then also. Or Max likes to swim in, so he's got 2 legs. And what I need to do is their back would then be on their chest would be on my back. I need to get their chest on my side. So I need to take us from being parallel to each other to perpendicular, right? So I need to pull them around the side. Once I pull them around the side and then put them on, I can drop them to their hip. At that point, I can hook their leg and I can pop up. I mean, obviously, like I said, this is a highly complex position that has like 50 different, offshoots, but that's its essence.
Got it. Okay, understood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okie doke. Next up.
So yes, Kale's fundamentals would probably involve that position if there are real Kale fundamentals. It's not just a thought process.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Well, that's fun. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was fun. Like I said, I obviously I like Penn State, but I don't really have any personal connection to them, so I don't always cheer for them. Right? I want Mizzou to do well. I've been cheering for Wisconsin the last couple of years, but they're hard to hate. They're really hard to hate. Besides the fact that you used to be jealous, they're winning all the time. The other thing that maybe this is a clerical error, but I guess it is true in 8 and 9 years. But I feel like you say 8, 9 years, but Kale did not win it. Was it his first year or first 2 years he didn't win? It was just his first year, right?
His first year he did not win.
So it's actually 8 and 10, which it's kind of, so you get 8 of the last 9.
It is 8 of 9, but I mean, you could.
Yeah. So when you were saying like in Kale's time he was won 8 and 9, I was saying, wait, Kale's been there. No, he's been there 10 years.
Yeah.
And really with this year it was 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's still true that he won 8 and 9.
Yeah, correct.
But it would be inaccurate to say that he's been there 9 years and won 8, though. So I guess I get what you're saying.
Cool.
Okay, clerical errors. Got it. That's what Ben was focused on. Critiques.
Oh my gosh! I said I loved it. Stop whining.
I'm messing with you. Yeah. So, dude, he's the best. Penn State is the best college sports team in NCAA sports right now. Who wrote the article? Was it JD?
JD Rader.
There's no one like in the same league right now.
Yeah, probably the only thing is NDSU football, but it's FCS, and it's just like it's just not the same level.
When they're beating Bama 8 and 9.
No, I know.
Then we can. But like you're not the best football team, right? They are the best wrestling team. NDSU can't compete with the best, but they're. So it's kind of it puts it a little more in perspective, and I don't know if you're a hater, which many are. If you are, it should be some solace. Like, man, you are watching something that is largely unprecedented. You know, you've got Gable, and we could be in 15, 20 years. You could be saying, man, these are like two of the greatest college sport coaches ever, and two of them they could both be in wrestling, right? Now, Kale's got his work cut out for him the next few years. They've got some studs coming in, and they've got studs still there, but they still got it to do. And this 8 of 9 pace is going to be really, really tough to maintain, even for someone as great as Kale. But, you know, after he won 4 and then won 4 again, he's really hard to pick against.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, with Ivy Wrestling, only thing we wanted to just remind is, like, it's not canceled, because we had a question like, why have you not said anything about Ivy's being canceled? It's not canceled at this point. They just will not compete until January 1st. So that means, like, Cornell normally goes to Vegas. That means no Vegas, because Vegas is in December, right? And they would go to some opens.
Maybe we can move Vegas.
We could. I mean, well, not we. I say we. That would be up to the
Trella
yes,
family.
Yes. One of the best tournaments around. Love going to that one. So, yeah, maybe they do. I mean, I don't know what these tournaments are going to look like the upcoming year.
Yeah. And Midlands is technically before the new year also, although it's very, very close. But maybe they can move that to a couple of days after New Year's as well.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen a lot of these Ivies have really good schedules. And I would imagine some of those duels would have been before January 1. So some of these other schools are going to be looking to have to replace duels on their schedule too.
Yeah, so we know schedule-wise we are looking at a weird year. But that's all we really know. You know, it's going to look really different, but I don't know exactly. So, you know, how will this impact Yanni and Cornell's decisions for lineup? I don't think it'll change. I think they're gonna push this year. I think Yanni's gonna wrestle. He said he's gonna wrestle. I think if it gets pushed back a little bit, he'll still wrestle. My worry is that if they push back NCAAs a little bit, how that'll impact trials. But right now, so much of that is guesswork. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost not worth. We're in such unprecedented times. It's almost not worth giving much thought to, right? Because it's like we could talk about this and it could change next week, right, or next month. I mean, it's not even worth like saying, well, how are they gonna move this around? Because there's just too many unknowns at this point to even want to guess that badly at it. Hey, and speaking of that, but something that's much closer is. We've heard rumors of USA Wrestling do the UWW trials for juniors and U23. Are they going to put this on the calendar sometime soon? Because we would only be roughly 2 months out from when they theorize that they're going to have it.
I haven't seen the official calendar. What my understanding or what I remember was they're waiting on agreement signed with the venues and whatnot before I think they would put it on there. But
yeah,
early-ish September, first week or two of September, and I think for the Olympic styles or Olympic weights open in October was like the first 2 weeks there.
So all the way in October. Got it.
Now,
so that'll function as
what is the purpose of the Olympic weights open? Is it just just to have a tournament?
Well, I was going to say, is it going to be the qualifier for the Worlds?
What do you mean qualifier for the
Worlds? It probably would be. Well, Christian, you weren't here. We talked about this, right? They might do the Worlds in 2020?
I know that, but I don't. Why would they just have an Olympic weights only open?
Is the Worlds going to be for all? I figured the 2020 Worlds were only going to be Olympic weights. They're going to be all weights.
I thought they were all weights.
Okay. Well, then I don't know what the hell the USA Wrestling is doing.
Yeah.
I guess maybe just to have a competition.
Yeah, maybe. But like, does it give you seating stuff? Is there a benefit to doing it, right? Because are they like restarting qualification, right? I don't know if they can do that because they had the qualifier in Fort Worth. I don't see that changing it, so I don't know. Yeah. Okie doke. So more to come there. Man, I tell you what. So there's maybe a 5% chance we announce an awesome match today. I'll say 5%. There's a 100% chance we're announcing one tomorrow. And hopefully more to come. We're working on Luke Pletcher's opponent. And
how is the process of you putting the secret camera into Penn State's room going, Christian?
Well, I'll say it's not going well at all, unfortunately.
What if I got an idea?
All right, here
Christian,
we go.
I have a plan. Ready?
Okay.
We train Caleb to be a master wrestler, so he gets recruited by Penn State. He goes to Penn State to wrestle. Maybe he does well, maybe he doesn't. But what he does, he gives us all the secrets.
Okay.
And if Caleb fails, I got Ozzy. He's a good 16 years out of college. Who knows? Caleb probably won't be around by then. But just in case,
all right. Well, Ben, this is all the more reason you need to come down to Austin, train my child, make him a champion, no excuses. I don't care what it takes. And then even Cale Sanderson will have to recruit him. And he'll go to Penn State, and we'll just learn it all. This is the ultimate long con, using our children and their college experiences, and at least we have to. And you know what? You've got Caleb, then you've got Ozzy, and then young Hayden not too far behind.
That's right.
You
Why
know,
do you think we had a boy?
Yeah, thank goodness. So we only have one shot right now between each of us, right? Only one son. So
I guess who knows by. Let's see, Alex will graduate high school in 2031 or 2032. Mm-hmm. They'll probably have women's wrestling at Penn State by then.
Okay.
So maybe we got another chance.
All right, so we have a couple bullets in the chamber. We got to make them count. And bottom line, we have to make our kids really, really good at wrestling.
Yep.
Or we compromise us high school sophomore right now. We make him our secret double agent spy that gives us all the Kale info. We have to brainwash him before he gets to Kale because Kale will try to re-brainwash him to not give any information. So we brainwash him prior to that to give us all of the information that we want.
Man, all I know is the kids go in and, you see them at the turns. Hey, what's up? By freshman year, it's like, you're cold-shouldered. So it works quickly. So you're going to have a strong – you're going to have to do a good job there, Ben.
Maybe you have to get an assistant coaching job for a year. he probably wouldn't let me in. He would see the ruse.
He would see right through it. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. He's 3 steps ahead. That's the problem. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time. Kyle Brackey's been gone. This is maybe going to be the most fire alien hour yet. It's
jeez.
So if you don't know, because we're getting new listeners all the time, a long-standing staple of the show is Kyle Brackey's Alien Hour, where he brings to the forefront some of the most controversial, paranormal. We got Bigfoot. There's the Ozark Howler, et cetera, et cetera.
There's things like Avril Lavigne.
You find out that Avril Lavigne's been dead forever, right?
Anything that is just suspicious or needs to be known by the general public, I want to educate them.
Yeah.
And on February 21st, 2019, during the Iowa-Oklahoma State mega show, it was a dual preview show, I told you all about the Oklahoma Octopus. And Tyler's got a clip here we're going to play real quick. It is there's at least 3 of these octopus, okay? They're in Lake Thunderbird, which is near Norman, Lake Oolaga, which is between Tulsa and the Kansas border, and Lake Tenkiller, which you should probably not go to Lake Tenkiller ever, which is in Muskogee, which is near the Arkansas border. But it is a large, horse-sized freshwater demon. And
oh my God.
It has been just sucking people under. It just drowns people, and they never find their bodies. The drowning rate, yes, the drowning rate from Oklahoma from 2007 to 2008 went up 40%. It was the highest it ever been since 2001.
What? Oh,
I thought there was more.
Oh man, I was just getting good.
I thought you were gonna give us show us an Oklahoma octopus or something from now.
I am gonna show you the Oklahoma octopus. So Tyler, go ahead and pull up one of those Facebook posts. Yeah, this was found in Lake Tenkiller, one of the lakes that I told you about in that original clip.
I need a closer up shot, Kyle.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna go ahead and say this isn't the smoking gun I was hoped for. These are about the size of an army.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
Green
I'm sorry
Army
we don't
toy.
have
Is that someone's hand?
a full grown
That's a
one here
hand.
for you. No, it's not. There's a second Facebook image, Tyler. If you want to go ahead and pull that one up, if you can.
That's like
That's not someone's hand.
This thing couldn't pull under Ozzy. What are we talking about?
This is a child one. This is a baby one. It's being groomed to be a killer.
How big are octopuses when they're born?
I guess
I don't
about
know.
that size, I would guess.
Yeah.
You know, a regular octopus, but this is a horse-size octopus.
Okay.
You know
But
how
you
big
said
a
horse
baby
size.
horse is?
I know I said horse size. That's how big they are when they are fully grown. This is not fully grown yet.
Okay.
Okay. So, but what is this doing in Lake Tenkiller?
That is a fair
in
question.
Oklahoma.
That is the nice reattack for this. Why are there octopi in lakes in Oklahoma? I thought they were a saltwater creature all these years.
Yes, they are. You can't just all of a sudden just start living in lakes in Oklahoma. And you know what? We got another tweet here. Goes out to you, Dennis.
Wow.
Dennis wanted to try to trash me February 22nd, 2019.
Read it.
Said he didn't want to hear anything about an Oklahoma octopus. He just wanted to hear more wrestling. Well, hey, Dennis, I tried to warn you. Suck
Now
it.
you did.
They're real.
Yeah. So they're real.
Okay. Hey, Kyle, I got something for you here. Ready?
Oh boy.
I looked up baby octopus. Although only millimeters long at hatching, these octopuses can grow up to be more than 4 meters in arm span.
Okay.
See?
There it is.
They're children.
So they
They're babies. They're babies. They're not even
Yes,
children.
They're growing. Okay.
they're children.
All right. So I just wanted to kind of take that victory lap. That one honestly was probably like one of the most scrutinized ones.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was the most ridiculous one. Even though it's the most fun one, it's like it just doesn't make sense biologically that there would be octopi in lakes in Oklahoma, but here they are. What can you say?
It doesn't make sense, but you know what? Can't always explain everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay, we're gonna switch gears here real quick. And this
Wait,
one is kind of
two alien hours.
well. That was
two
just kind of
one
an
day?
update.
That's
That
just a
was like
follow-up.
there's new season
Got
of Unsolved Mysteries out on Netflix.
yep,
and you
got
know
it.
when they would do like update at the end.
Love it.
That was like an update. All right, so moving on. This one's kind of gonna be in the same vein as Avril Lavigne. It's Britney, bitch. Britney Spears. So we're gonna start all the way back in 2008. Okay, that was when kind of Britney Spears had her like mental break. When she like shaved her head and she went crazy, and there was this paparazzi footage of her being put in an ambulance at her house, taken to the hospital. Well, essentially her and her husband, Kevin Federline at the time, were going through a bunch of stuff, having a custody dispute, and she kind of just lost her mind. Well, when that happened, her family placed her, put her in, it's called a 5150 hold, which is essentially you can hospitalize somebody involuntarily for 72 hours because you think they're a danger to themselves. And so her family put that hold on her, but she only stayed for one night, so 24 hours. Then, about a month later, January 31st, family places another 5150 hold on her. And then a day later, a court decides to give her father conservatorship. Do you know what that has been?
That doesn't sound good.
No.
That much.
Conservatorship is when a guardian or protector are appointed by a judge to manage the financial affairs and or daily life of another due to physical or mental limitations. So literally her dad is now in complete control of her life.
Whoa.
Financials,
What?
can decide what she does, when she does it, all of these.
Now, is this proven or is this
if I
theorized?
Google this,
No,
yeah,
this is real. They
yeah,
they
got it.
appear in court every single year to
What?
go over whether this should still be in place.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so at first it was
This just
temporary.
doesn't sound right.
I promise you this is real. So then at first they're like, all right, this is temporary until Britney gets everything figured out and everything. But then in October 2008, the court makes the conservatorship permanent. And
what?
There's
What?
this yes,
Permanent?
Yes. So there's this,
So they just said she's crazy.
What?
you. Guys,
Yeah, they're like, is Britney gonna be crazy next year? Almost definitely.
this is real. This is why. This is mind blowing.
I kind of want to research this to see if Kyle's full of crap or not. But then I realized it would be a total waste of my time. So I'm not going to.
That's what you
Well,
think.
I'm doing the research
Listen,
for you. Okay.
Hey Ben, you know what? You should do the research because it could happen to you. What if they say, you know what, Ben Askren? Oh, he's got all this stuff. He's a famous guy. He goes on Ariel Helwani's show. What a big deal he is. You know what? It'd be a real shame if everyone thought he was crazy and we got all his stuff forever. So maybe stay woke, learn up.
Just like they're trying to do to Kanye. They're trying to say Kanye's having a bipolar episode. This man just woke up.
Okay,
Man.
there you go. Kanye, Ben Askren, Britney Spears.
So she wanted to challenge the arrangement. She didn't want this. Obviously, no one wants that.
No one wants that.
So she was reaching out to attorneys to try to get them to represent her. And an attorney who she spoke to in 2008 said, "It was clear to me that she seemed a bit agitated, but my sense was that she did have the capacity to pick a lawyer and that she could make a rational decision." The judge, though, citing a recent medical evaluation, said the singer was not capable of hiring her own counsel.
Dang.
So she couldn't even hire her
What?
own counsel for that proceeding in 2008, which made this permanent.
So she couldn't even hire the attorney to defend her that she's not crazy.
Yes, because
She got
My
set
brain
up.
hurts.
yes.
My brain hurts. Yeah.
How does
Listen,
Britney Spears' family have
maybe-
this kind of pull with the legal
All right,
system?
we're getting pulled off Facebook, but I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. maybe here. I'll say something
Say
that
it.
won't get me in trouble. Maybe she was about ready to expose some very high-level people because we know some dirty stuff has been going on and it's been coming out of Hollywood. It's some really nasty stuff, guys. Look into it. It's not fake. It is real. Maybe she was getting ready to expose them, and this is their way to kind of keep her quiet.
Man.
No, you're probably not wrong. And so what?
Hollywood is an effing cesspool.
Yeah.
No arguments.
So her dad was able to control her so well because he controlled how much time she had with her kids, like the amount of time she spent with her kids.
Oh my
So
gosh.
anytime she would
What?
try to push back, yes, because she was under this conservatorship, he can do whatever he wants. So he controlled, like the judge is like, all right, you get 50%.
She was definitely.
But then
she was definitely about to talk.
yeah. But then he would manipulate it even more, or threaten her even more, that he would just have her rights taken away altogether. Okay. So let's fast forward a little
Is
bit.
this real, Kyle? Kyle, is this real?
No, this is real. You'll see even more in a second. Okay.
You better read up, dude.
So
Now I'm so interested. I'm literally gonna start looking. At it now.
let's fast forward to 2012 a little bit. Okay. She is selected as a judge on the X Factor. She's doing really well. She won a bunch of VMAs. She was on like How I Met Your Mother, acting and stuff. So people are starting to question, how can this person who is doing all of these things, having all this success, how can she not be right mentally enough to take care of herself? Why is she still under this thing? But every year when they would go back to court, the court keeps extending it. Okay. So then in 2019, she had a Las Vegas residency show. She was just living in Vegas doing the show. And but then the one in 2019, early 2019, gets canceled. A few days later, she is seen going through an In-N-Out drive-through. Okay.
That's alarming.
Well, it's alarming because they did not let her drive.
So she's violating.
Right. So she is violating this conservatorship. And when she canceled the show, she claimed that her father's health was the reason why she was canceling it. He was in very bad health.
Really? It's 'cause
they
she was
weren't
getting
sure
a
if
cheeseburger.
she was going to make it through or whatever. Okay, well, a few days after she's seen in the In-N-Out drive-thru, she disappears from the public eye for 3 months.
Oh, boy.
And it's alleged that her dad
Food poisoning.
forced her into a mental health facility against her will after she broke the conservatorship and went out driving. Okay? So then in April of 2019, it's confirmed that she has been in a mental health facility,
Oh, no.
but her team is claiming that it was voluntarily. But then in May, she tells a judge that her dad forced her into the mental health facility, and her mother even had an attorney there supporting her claims.
That's not good.
No.
Wow.
And the mom likes all these Instagram comments saying that the conservatorship is bad and they need to let her free and free Britney and everything. And then so we got a tweet here.
Wait,
of
hey,
some
so
of the
Kyle, I'm reading this article, and so it was extended. This was May 4 of 2020. It had been 12 years, like you said, but it doesn't say permanent. It says just extended, and this one was extended it was May 4, extended until August 22nd. So it appears that she gets to keep having these hearings, but maybe she just can't get out of it or something.
Yeah, she can't get out. I guess that's maybe what this article meant by permanent, because she can't get out.
Yes, so it's not actually permanent. It seems like she has, but she just can't keep getting out. Yeah, it's a legal guardianship enacted, and it lasts till August 22nd now. So I already tweeted, I'm gonna get Britney free.
So
holy moly!
I got a lot of things to go along here with it. So here's an Instagram post. Britney has like 3 or 4 of these. I don't know if we'll pull them all up, but it's just like things like where she's trapped. She can't get out. You know, she sees the ocean there, but she can't get to it.
Wow. Well, it looks like theoretically, it looks like she could just go.
She's under lock and key right there. Wow.
That's deep.
She's trying to break free from cages. Wow.
That's a little more.
She can't get out, guys. And then, if Tyler, if you can pull up the protest. So then this started to become out in the streets a good bit, and her fans literally started protesting these court hearings.
Dang.
Anytime they would go to court, you know, they have the
looks like DeSanto with blue hair in the front. Something DeSanto doing there.
He's trying to free Britney. Look at these people.
Real freedom.
They want Britney freed. All right, so this, seriously, you might ask, why am I just now coming across this?
Yes.
Well, recently, Britney posted a video on her Instagram, and it was like it is way out there. Like, so many people are just like, what is going on with you, Britney? So then someone comments, Britney, if you need help, wear yellow in your next video, okay? Her next video,
oh my gosh,
she wears yellow and then calls to it like really awkwardly, like just. So she said, "Holy crap, my florist surprised me today by making the flower arrangement all different colors. ... I was so excited to throw on my yellow shirt and just had to share."
Wow. That's not good.
We need to do something. We need to free
Britney.
Guys,
like, man, we gotta get off this topic. 'Cause I'm about to say some crazy stuff. I mean, look at this. Listen, Harvey Weinstein's proven that dude's a pedo that forced women into doing all kinds of nasty shit. Like, Hollywood is a cesspool. It is a very dangerous place, and this makes me think that Britney's got some stuff she wants to tell some people, and they're trying to keep her from doing so. That's what this makes me think.
Okay, well, she clearly has access to her phone, so why doesn't she just make a video and say, "Hey, blah, blah, blah,
what if they said? What if they said we'll kill your kids?" Or, you know what? There's some. I mean, guys, there's a lot of ways you can keep people manipulated mentally, Christian.
Okay.
There's a lot of ways you can do that.
All right. Well, this is a sad alien hour then.
I mean, I'm just trying to make people aware. This needs to end.
Yeah. Free Britney.
I mean, I don't, guys.
Britney.
I don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to tell you guys Harvey Weinstein was sexually assaulting and abusing many women in Hollywood and got away with it for 20 or 30 years. I don't have to be a conspiracy theorist. That's been proven without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. Bad place. Sorry for Britney.
Yes.
So, I don't know. There's no seamless transition from Britney Spears' conservatorship.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make it that dark.
It's dark. That's dark. Why else would they have this? It's dark. I mean, dude, there's some dark stuff in Hollywood, people. Look it up.
I just quote tweeted a big long thread where I got a lot of my information, but it has like all kinds of videos of her kind of talking about this and some stuff like in her songs and all kinds of sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
All right,
Christian, if you want to read up on some, and well, Epstein is another one who then now he did not sexual assault just regular women. He chose to do minors, right? And this has been proven without a shadow of a doubt. He had I don't know if you guys want to, dude. I don't even want to talk about it, but he had sex slaves essentially, right? And he has them so mentally manipulated that they can't escape. It's a really, really sick, dangerous thing, and. I mean, that's kind of where this took me, is that she is so controlled. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. I did this one.
Good.
All right,
that was
let's
bad.
go to some questions. We have a lot. We have a lot of good ones too, and they're about wrestling. So we'll do that. Okay, Ben, take off the conspiracy hat. Put on your wrestling coach hat.
I'm not effing conspiracy theorist. Epstein and Weinstein has been proven. They just got Ghislaine Maxwell. She's another pedo sex slave procurer. Don't even get me started because this is a nasty topic, and I don't even have to be a conspiracy theorist to tell you what's already been proven.
I'm not saying you are.
Okay.
If you were Frank Chamizo, what would your strategy be to beat Dake? How do you approach Kyle Dake?
Oof, that's a good one. I think I try to make it a low exchange match, a really, really low exchange match, right? Where, I can maybe force Dake into taking a leg attack and then scoring off that. I think that's probably it. Or maybe possibly stepping over a gut, right? Because I know if he gets on top, Dake is going to try to gut him for sure. Maybe try to step over it.
Yeah, I asked Dake about that specifically. He's like, there's zero fear there. He's not going to step over. He does some silly stuff in parterre defenses. Just not. He won't get away with it against me. I think he needs to stay out of control times probably. He can wrestle well. Chamizo can actually wrestle really well in a 2-on-1 as I say that. So I don't know if that would be the control tie that Dake would want to go to. I think if we see the hand on the mat, low stance Kyle Dake that doesn't engage and Chamizo can stay on the outside and make Dake have to come to him and especially attack below the waist, that is to his benefit. So if he can funnel things down to attacks that are lower, I think that favors him best, right? Whereas if Dake's able to get to his hooks and things like that, I think it's going to get a lot tougher for Chamizo. So I think it's got to be low scoring. I don't think he can win a shootout with a lot of exchanges because I think one of those – the thing is with exchanges with Dake is they're not takedowns. They're dynamic. They're 4s and they're 2s with guts behind them. There's his ability to transition and score in bunches is great. So if it's a lot of scoring, I don't think there's any scenario that Chamizo wins that. I think it's got to be a calculated chess match. He needs to disengage without – and maybe you disengage and you're going to get put on the clock multiple times. And maybe you give up some cautions. But if it needs to come down to you making a takedown happen, right? Whether it's a counter or that's the other thing is that Frank has really good outside step offense that could work on Kyle Dake for sure. So I think the match has to closely resemble that more so than anything else.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. That was John Kozak. He had a follow-up question. Also, what American do you want to see win an Olympic title next year? Most.
Oh. I would say Jaden Cox.
That's probably what I would say too.
Because he doesn't have one, and he's from my alma mater.
Yeah. He doesn't have one is kind of because he's won Worlds twice, and I guess with that you're also saying you want him to beat Kyle Snyder as well.
Yeah, which but Kyle's he's already got an Olympic title.
Yeah, he's got his. So I would probably say him. I would probably say Jaden as well. Do you have one, Steve?
That's who immediately came to mind for me too.
Yeah, no. It'd be JB's got one. David would be pretty awesome too. I don't know. I think after we have the team, whenever that is,
it would be really awesome to see like a young guy like break through, like Spencer, Yanni, Dayton.
Oh man,
someone like that, like have like a gigantic breakthrough that you didn't really see coming. Because I think you would say with all those guys, they can make the team, right? And you're excited for their potential to make the team. But at this point, you're not quite thinking about them on the level with JB or David or Kyle or Jaden. Not yet, right? So if they could make the Olympic team and then have this breakthrough, that would be pretty cool to watch also.
Yeah, kind of the birth of a new young star, kind of like
Jordan
was in 12, but even younger, right? These would be guys still in college. With multiple years of college remaining in Yanni and Dayton's case, right? So yeah, I would love that as well. Bracky had a little information on this one. I just wanted to ask this one. With all virtual classes, are any wrestlers or athletes, I guess, is the question, getting deported? Because there's some issues with foreign students remaining in America.
Yeah.
How many foreign wrestlers? The Harvard guy.
Yeah, Slavakuski.
Yeah, I think it's going to affect other sports more, but I know USC and a number of other schools were pushing back pretty hard on this. I have a feeling this will get resolved. But essentially, there's a new amendment to the, I don't even know, law, I guess, or whatever it is, that if you're foreign student coming over here to take classes, if your school goes to online only, you have to go back. But it sounds like the schools are going to fight this pretty hard, and I would be pretty surprised if it happened.
Okay. Ryan Betts, if this is true, wow. I have now listened to every FRL twice.
I saw this. Oh, my God.
Is there any podcast y'all recommend before I start the third time? No. You should just start over. Just start over. Watch it again. If you've listened to them all twice, that means you are very near listening to me getting prank called on episode 2. So you may as well just start over.
That was the best. FRL peaked then.
It's been all downhill since episode 2, says Ben Askren, which is a self-doubt because you're on the show.
I wish someone would prank call you again. Can we take calls for like a couple of days if someone prank calls you again?
Oh, we had one kind of a prank call when we were interviewing Jordan Burrows, and you brought on daggone Kyle Dake with the blind side of the century. So you still get your jollies, Ben.
Oh, come on. Let's take calls. Let's do a throwback, Christian, and take calls and not screen them. We don't want to screen them.
FRL after dark.
No, it would just be people.
It
would just be people dunking on me the whole time. Or you probably get some Masvidal jokes, and Kyle's name is Kyle, and all the jokes that come with that, talking about him chugging monsters and stuff. Who knows?
It could be funny.
Where's
though.
your monster
dunk
this morning,
on him back.
Reattack.
Where's the monster this morning? That's a great question,
Wow.
Ben.
You quitter?
No, I'm not a quitter. No, it is being taken from me. I don't know. When I left, apparently we ran out of the supply that Monster gave us, and then Flow Sports decided not to refill it, and that kind of grinds my gears a little bit because you got me addicted to it, and now you're not gonna keep feeding my addiction. Now my work's gonna suffer.
Yeah, and at this time, that's not good.
No.
We need your focus now more than ever, Bracky.
No, so
Yeah, they haven't restocked the fridge. They still have the Monster fridge
yeah, so the fridge is just sitting there empty.
empty.
What a
Taunting
tease.
you.
What a tease.
Yeah, that's messed
You
up.
made me think of a really dumb story. Can I share a dumb story? I feel like we're just two old friends sitting around. Can I share a dumb story with you guys?
Yes.
Okay, it was about no, I'm not a quitter. I said that. I said you're a quitter, and you said I'm not a quitter. So we had this strength coach. Oh my gosh, he's actually I think he's the head strength coach at Stanford. Or maybe he's not anymore. He was for a significant portion of time the head strength coach at Stanford. So we would do the warm up for strength and conditioning for lifting, right? And then sometimes he would have us pummel. Okay, now this is a big dude, guys. He's like 240, and so one time one of our 125 pounders didn't have a partner, so he starts pummeling with them, right? And then we're pummeling. We're not doing anything else. He ducks the 125 pounder and puts him on his back, right? And the 125 pounder starts fighting back. And for whatever reason, the strength coach goes, "You're out of here." I won't say the name, but you're out of here. And the kid goes, "I'm not a quitter. I'm not leaving. I'm not a quitter." And he just keeps yelling, "I'm not a quitter." And then that was the joke for like 5 years.
Oh my gosh, it was a 25-pounder.
Gosh. Oh yeah, and the strength coach ducked him and put him on his back. It was.
It
so
almost
great.
has to be a McCormick, right?
It was not a McCormick. It was not a McCormick.
There's so many There's so many dang McCormicks.
I don't think they're all 133s/141s though.
Okay, never made it down to 25. All right.
No. Yeah.
Well, that's
so much
really
fun.
funny. Not a quitter.
I'm not a quitter.
Man, you got ducked by the strength coach though. That's tough. Okay. Oh, real quick, some business. FloWrestling Radio Live is brought to you by RX Sports, the official CBD partner of Flow Sports and FloWrestling. the all-natural, highly concentrated CBD product, perfect for all your training recovery needs. Visit rxsportsinc.com/flowsports for an automatic 20% discount off your entire order. Defy your pain with RX Sports. Joe at Fanatics. Jordan Burrows got another year older yesterday. Happy birthday, Jordan Burrows.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't this prove Kyle Dake right about his training methods? Maybe right. He is older. Funny. How old is Jordan now? Is he 33 or 32? He's been talking like he's an octogenarian since like 2017.
He is 32 now.
He's 32 today. Happy birthday, Jordan Burrows.
Yesterday.
Many more years.
It's July, so he'll have to win an Olympic title at 33. Man, that would be. I feel like that'd be really old for. You remember Satiev when he was 33, he had gray hair and stuff?
Yeah.
Does Jordan have gray hair? Or do you think he dyes it? What do you think?
I don't
think he has gray hair.
I don't think he has gray hair. His hair is definitely not. Not like who? Satiev, yeah.
Satiev.
They embrace the old at in Russia. So yeah, happy birthday to Jordan. I don't know if this proves it or not. But, yeah. Next up. Oh, I'm getting some hate here on my interview. Bruh, 30-minute interview with Frank, and you couldn't give the time to ask about the duck at Pelican. What gives? I mean, what? He didn't want to enter. He ducked Jordan, too, in the finals. It's like, you didn't want to wrestle. I mean, it's kind of like... You know the answer to it.
It would be interesting. Well, no, but it would be interesting to hear what his take is. Obviously, the take he had a reason in his head why he didn't do it. I'm curious to hear that too.
He said we did an interview with him at the time. He said he was like injured or something, or not healthy or something. I don't know. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I should have dug in that one a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Ivan _ folk style. How will wrestlers generate income off of their likeness once the rule goes into effect? Will programs help by creating gear with student athletes, or will individuals have to pursue their own? Will it affect Flow's content generation? So kind of a two-part question. I don't know exactly. So I have a question like, all right, hypothetically, Penn State's a Nike school, but RBY wanted it to be sponsored by Rudis in a total hypothetical world.
I don't believe you can do that.
Can't do that. Could they maybe not do that? He could be sponsored by them, but like he couldn't wear Rudis shoes or singlet
in official matches.
In official, like almost like, for example, you think about Team USA Olympics. Like Jordan Burrows has to wear a Nike singlet, even though he's an ASICS athlete, right? And he's got to wear Nike warm-ups.
But he can wear ASICS shoes in that.
He can wear shoes. But,
so like say maybe the Penn State athlete could wear something different at the U.S. Open. Right?
Or maybe
something to that effect?
Yes, the U.S. Open, but maybe if it's up school.
Yeah, he would have to do all that stuff.
But like at the school, because all the Iowa guys have to wear Nike shoes, right? They used to be able to wear ASICS, but now they don't.
Yeah, I don't think they can anymore.
And similar for like Penn State guys, they all wear Nike shoes. So there could be some limitations as far as apparel. I don't think that necessarily means you couldn't have an apparel deal while in school, right? Yeah. But it just
becomes less valuable because you can't wear it. Like it's just kind of the same deal as in the UFC. You must wear Reebok. That doesn't mean people don't have outside sponsors,
right?
But obviously, the UFC makes it difficult on the fighters because they can't wear the gear at the time when it would be most valuable to those fighters and to the sponsored companies. So someone could do something outside of it, but yes, I would. And then I would wonder. If I go down that road, it's like, will at some point, a group of athletes sue the institutions for prohibiting them from making money? Because if they're bundling, right? I mean, this is the UFC fighters get paid for Reebok, not all that well, but they do get paid. So will at some point the athletes sue the institutions and saying, listen, you're keeping all of the sponsor revenue, we want a chunk of it, because that happens in the NBA, that happens in the NFL, that happens a lot of places where the athletes get a chunk of that revenue, and obviously without the athletes, there is no sport, so therefore the athletes do contribute to some of the revenue generated.
Well, what is going to be interesting about it, and I've seen this point brought up a lot, is the athletes, the college athletes, if this NIL thing passes, they will have to get every single deal approved by the school.
That's so annoying.
Right, and so the school has to determine whether it's fair. Like,
what?
Yes.
Yes.
Who do we need their opinion for?
So they have to.
Exactly.
And the school doesn't want to do it either.
Yeah.
Like they're like, this is just too much. This is even more
Extra work.
Think about that in football. There's 100 and some players on the roster.
And how are you gonna determine what's fair?
What's fair
don't
value?
know.
I've
Right,
had to do this
exactly.
with. I mean, certain institutions have been stricter on me hiring camp people. And I'm not gonna give an institution. I'm not gonna give a name because I don't want to get them in trouble. But this one dumb institution tried telling me this one athlete was only worth $300 a day. And I said, listen, are you guys effing insane? He's worth way more than that. And they're like, no, he's not. I'm like, yes, he is. I am the buyer, and I'm telling you, he's worth more than $300 a day. And they kept pushing back. And I just said, like, you guys are so out of touch with reality. It's ridiculous. And you're putting your head in the sand, and you're acting like you know, but you don't know. So I paid him in cash.
Yeah.
How about that?
How about that? What are you going to do about it? Man, it's so pathetic.
And I wonder, too, if schools will, like, let's say Rudis wanted to sponsor RBY, then the school is like, oh, this isn't fair. But in reality, it's just them not wanting him to be associated with a brand that's not Nike.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. They're gonna protect
So then the
big sponsor.
kids can probably assume and be like, this isn't a free market.
Yeah. Well, an example that comes to mind for me is how they could generate income. They could wrestle matches for example, on FloWrestling. We would pay a lot of money for Spencer Lee to wrestle Dayton Fix or Nick Suriano or Aaron Brooks versus the possibilities are endless. So that will be hopefully a main way they're able to generate money off their likeness, which is not possible right now, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, I mean, because obviously one of the things that you would need to say here, and I think you guys could probably have the numbers to back it up, Christian, is that most athletes in wrestling reached the apex of their popularity during their time in college. That's fair, correct?
Yeah, there are outliers, but that is largely true.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I mean, outliers, right? Like Jordan Burrows, for example.
Jordan Burrows is an outlier.
There's a couple, but not many.
No, not many. The vast majority. I mean, think about someone like Dylan Ness. That guy was like appointment viewing as a folk style wrestler from Minnesota. And, it's just he's still competing, but it's just not even close to the same level of fervor when he steps on the mat.
Or someone like, a good example would be like a Tony Ramos, who he made teams after college. He had success, right?
Yeah.
But there's no way I think you could say his popularity post Iowa could match his popularity while he was at Iowa, even though he had success in both venues.
Yes, absolutely true. Absolutely true. So, that would be a great, and will it affect our content generation? Yeah, hopefully. I would love for it to.
Yeah.
We'll have to see and, figure out what the exact details are. But, yeah, we hope this goes into effect yesterday. Okay.
I'm glad. You know what? You know what came out there, Christian and Kyle? You guys have almost as much disdain for the NCAA as I do, and I love that it came out of you guys there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I have a hard time sort of compartmentalizing it because what it does inarguably produce is the greatest wrestling tournament and storyline in the world, right? Nothing connects like the NCAA wrestling season. So I can't just hate them, right?
I also so there were a bunch of athletic directors they had to go like in front of Congress, and this was last week, getting asked all these questions about the NLI and stuff like that, and they keep pushing back, saying this is gonna hurt like non-revenue sports, like women's sports and all this stuff, and they couldn't be more inaccurate. And this honestly, because there's been all this talk about colleges paying student athletes, this takes the burden off the schools to pay them. Like now they can go and make money from other people that aren't the school off their name, image, and likeness.
Yes.
so now they're off the hook for paying athletes pretty much.
Yeah.
But they're still pushing back on this, and it makes no sense to me. It seems like a really no-brainer decision, but they...
Yeah, I mean, where they could be going with that, Kyle, is that they think that somehow it's going to break up their monopoly over these sponsorships where they can force all of their athletes to wear Nike 24/7 or whatever. And now even if they do maintain those rights to do them during competition and or team practices, if what's a really popular football player?
Trevor Lawrence.
Okay, Trevor Lawrence. I don't know who that is. If he, if he is able to wear a different brand during the spring and summer, and if he's able to do shoots for said brand, that would in some way, I think Nike or whoever is the sponsor of that school would feel that detracts from the value that they're getting, rather than having that guy in their gear 24/7, 365.
Right. I'm excited to see the changes, and what are you looking at?
So, athletic director, you did an article on the top 25 social media accounts. So, like they looked at these college athletes' social media followings and then rated them the most valuable college athletes. And one thing that the athletic director is always saying is this will hurt female sports because they won't be the same. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the top 10 biggest social media followings and endorsement potential money based on this thing by athletic director. You are women athletes because they have massive social media followings.
Instagram, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the majority of it would be on Instagram.
Yeah, and so they that's where they could probably. I don't know how large. How does it say how large their Instagram followings are, Kyle?
Hang on, I can tell you.
Okay. I mean, if it says, then those women would be able to make a significant amount of money. And honestly, guys, it would probably be not non-athletic brands, right? Women on social media, like I can't. There's a lot of stuff I can't pitch makeup or designer products. No one's gonna buy that stuff from me. It's just not. It's not gonna happen. It would look ridiculous, right? And I would think that would be the same for most male college athletes, but women, have more interest in some of that things. So there are avenues for them to make money there.
Yeah. Madison Kosian has 572,000 followers on Instagram.
So they could definitely generate some revenue off that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okie doke. So looking forward to that. Has Senior Stephen Kyle Brackey ever done an Alien Hour on Glacier National Park?
I have not.
Oh, what's that?
What's going on there?
I don't know.
Have you been there, Ben?
I love it. That's one of my favorites. It's so outstanding.
Tell me about it.
You know what my favorite national parks are? And so I've been to all of them in the lower 48. And it's one of these things where you go there and you get this feeling like, is this really the same planet? Like the redwoods, right? You go to the redwoods and you're like, good God, I've seen like 20,000 trees in my life. I've never seen a damn tree like that. That thing, like, what the hell is that over there?
Yeah.
When you get that like otherworldly feeling, and I don't know why Glacier just has that feeling for me. Like, I've traveled a lot and I went there and I'm like, oh my gosh, this place is just wow.
It looks like there might be some UFOs there.
Oh, baby.
Possibly connected to Nazis.
Oh, jeez. This sounds like it's going to get...
Nazi UFOs?
Nazi UFOs.
There's an episode...
I'm out.
On the Travel Channel show Mysteries at the National Parks on Glacier National Park. And a trail of clues lead to an even more shocking theory that the technology causing them may be Nazi in origin.
Yeah. That's a no for me, dog. Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration asks if we would do best of 3 on future cards for the main event. That would be awesome. I don't know if we would, but I wouldn't rule it out. The athletes would have to want to do that.
Who says no?
Who says no? And we will say who says no. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. Who are some of the wrestlers who have made the biggest jumps in weight from freshman to senior year in college? Any 25-pound freshman who ended up at 84. I'm not sure what this would be. I know, obviously, Dake did 4 weights, right? So, Steven Rodriguez had a huge
Wasn't there
jump.
someone who went from 65 to heavyweight? I mean, maybe he was a really God, was it the guy from Kent State or something I'm thinking about? Wasn't it the guy that went in WWE? Wasn't he like a really small guy and then he went up to heavyweight?
I don't know this guy.
The guy that's WWE, what's his name in WWE? Hold on, let me look it up. Hold on, I know this. Oh, Dolph Ziggler was Nick Nemeth. Didn't he start out really small?
I don't know. That's a little before my time.
What Wyoming wrestler was it that wrestled all over
How do you
the
not know
place?
this,
Yeah.
bro?
Well, LJ Hellbig wrestled at 74 and heavyweight.
Well, no.
Oh, that's a good one.
So Dewey Kruger in 2017-18
Wisconsin
season
guy.
wrestled 157 the majority of the year, but then he jumped to 174 and won, and jumped to 197 and won.
In the same
my
year,
God.
he wrestled from 157 to 197?
Yes, in the same year he picked up wins at 157, 174, 197, and 184.
Wow.
He just skipped 65.
Yeah.
He said, I can't make 65. Are you crazy?
Oh my God.
I'm going to say that has never happened. That someone went away at 57.
57, 74, 84, 97.
All in 1 year.
Is that five weights?
57, 74, 84, 94.
But he went up 5 weights.
Oh, yeah.
If you think about it.
I thought you were asking how many
It
weights.
spanned 5 weight classes in
Gotcha.
in 1 year.
In 1 year, that's insane.
There's no way that's ever happened. Big shout, Dewey Kruger.
wait.
He's the Flow Wrestler of the Year.
What about Quinn Kidder went from 33 to 57 in 1 year.
That's nothing.
It actually did good.
That's a
4.
brunch
That's
for
one
Dewey
off.
Kruger. 33. Yeah, it's true. It's one off.
Yeah, someone brings
One
up
off,
Shakur Rashid. He went 165 to 197.
197, yeah.
That's not.
I feel like
none of these people have anything on Dewey. What is it?
Well,
Mark
technically-
Branch, you can get him to win at any size, can't you, Coach Branch? In the same year.
That's funny.
That's
that's
kind of
funny.
amazing. All
Tony
right.
Arnold brings up Hayden Zilmer. He had crazy weight jumps.
Yes, he did. That's right.
Well, we're talking high school. Tommy Rowland started at 119.
Wow. That's
Yes.
crazy. Literally
Yes.
doubled in size. Or maybe
Yes.
not
Doubled.
quite, because he was.
He definitely doubled. He was a 250-pound heavyweight. For
Oh,
sure.
he was? Okay. I thought he was a little, maybe a little leaner. He was lean because he's a very tall person.
Yeah.
Please don't hurt me, Tommy Rollins. Best tech fall in the NCAA finals. Moore over Lang was unexpected. Taylor over Hatchett. Rutherford over Mays. Mitch Clark, Tech Vertus Jones. Stephen Powell over Heineck. Powell over Ott.
Dude, Jason Powell.
Why?
No, Jason Powell. You said Stephen Powell.
Oh, I said Stephen Neal over Heineck.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Powell over Ott. Yeah.
Got it.
Do you have-
I'll go Stephen Neal first, Mitch Clark second.
Yeah, I mean, a heavyweight tech fall is
Yeah,
it's
that is
just
insane.
like that's just so crazy. In the NCAA finals, I mean, a heavyweight tech fall is like wow. It's like if you just see that in a duel between like a ranked guy and a decent dude, you're like, that is really impressive. To see a tech fall in the NCAA finals at heavyweight, that's crazy. What's some of
The Moore one did come out of nowhere.
that was, I mean, Ryan
Yeah.
Lang was the undefeated #1 seed. And he got teched. That was, I remember watching
was
that.
wild.
That was totally wild.
But Ryan Lang had the propensity to self-destruct sometimes, like because he would just go for
Very
wild
literally,
stuff
Ben.
all the
Very
time.
literally.
And in that match, he got down by a couple points, and he just started doing crazy stuff. And you're like, you know why I was super annoyed about that one in particular? Because I was trying to win the OW, and this dum-dum keeps going to his back and lets Derek Moore get a freaking tech fall. And Derek Moore got the OW because Ryan Lang wanted to roll to his back 27 times. I was so mad about
the
that.
Herbert
I was
year,
so
right?
annoyed. No, it was the next year. I won the OW.
Oh, this was Keith Gavin?
Yeah, that was 07. And so I had a pin. I had 3 pins in a tech fall in that tournament. And so I thought I was going to, I thought I had a chance at. Obviously, that was before I had wrestled the finals. So especially if I do well against Keith, I'm more likely to get it. And obviously my performance wasn't great in the finals, but I was. I was watching the Derek Moore match all pissed off because freaking Lang keeps rolling to his back and gives Derek Moore a tech fall. I was like, okay, well, Derek Moore is going to get the, OW because he has the tech fall in the finals.
Yeah, it was like primarily just with leg riding. He's like, just
He kept rolling to his back.
Yeah, that's just want to, you know what? When I coach kids, that was one of the things I told them not to do. So
Don't hold your back.
yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me. Especially if you're wrestling Derek Moore. Okay. Next question. Let's see. This is probably more for Ben. Can we do a segment where you look at the upcoming UFC cards for the weekend and tell us about any of the guys with wrestling backgrounds on the fight card? I don't know UFC quite like Ben, but nor do I know the card exactly. I could do that if that's something you thought.
Okay, let me look real quick. I'll go fast. Early prelims. I do not know that any of these guys wrestle, although there are a few foreign guys, so I'm not sure. Next, dude, a whole bunch of foreign guys on this card. Good God, this is a lot of fun.
Probably easier to get them to Fight Island.
Yeah, Miami, obviously, Fight Island is definitely close to Europe and close to Russia, where a lot of these fighters train. So, yeah, there's a lot of European and Russian fighters on this card. We have very few. I mean, Usman's really the only wrestler that I know on this card, which is really abnormal, right? That one card, the first card back, it was like 3 out of the 4 co-main and main event. They were Arizona high school wrestlers.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird.
So let's see. July 15, Frank Yeager's a wrestler from Clarion. Carlos Esparza wrestled fairly successfully. Yeah, and that's it on that one. They only have 6 fights on that card. That's really strange. Oh, wait, they have a few more. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So
yeah,
been
it's kind
updated.
of boring.
Not a lot of wrestlers. Okay. I don't have anything else. Do you, Benjamin?
I get to play disc golf at 10 o'clock. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Any
Jacob Roshka's
Jacob Roshka.
He's been doing a lot of work on my course. He is a savage out there. He got, I we get in the morning. He comes over sometimes to his work. I get done with his podcast, and I'm like, holy, you got that done in 2 hours? Like, is that really possible? And you guys left him off of the Missouri roster thing when you guys did that. But so he's been out for 2 whole years. He had a back injury, and they thought it would heal itself in a year, and it did not. So then a year after that, he had to have surgery, and he was out for a whole nother year. He's just back. He literally got back to drilling like, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. So hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully the back is healed up and ready to rumble after 2 years.
I hope so.
Yes.
So thanks for your help on. Hey, I have one question. One final question.
What? Go.
Why are
I have a Yes, I do have a children's course for you at my house.
Oh, hilarious! Why
really do.
are there mountains in the back of the Askren Wrestling Academy? What are there mountains? Do you live in a mountainous region? I don't understand.
Well, this was what we chose to go with. As part of our logo in the beginning, and there's some symbolism. So actually, in the one that's this is a little simpler mountain right here, right? But the premise of it, right, is 2 things. Number one, there's no way to just get to the top of Mount Everest. You just can't fly to the top or take a helicopter out. You literally got to walk your ass up to the top, 1 step at a time.
Okay.
Right? And the other part of it, there's false peaks, right? So like at our academy in Heartland, we have one that has, it's like got 4 peaks or so, where you go up and then back down a little. And it's like, so there's a lot of these false peaks where, say, you're climbing towards the high school state title and you see this as the peak, right? Or the pantheon of what you're going to do. And then you get there and you're like, this is awesome. And then you're like, oh, damn, but there's all that, right? There's all that stuff ahead of you. And we always thought that one of the things that, wrestling did wrong was they kind of overemphasized these younger age tournaments to where they made these be the peak, the pinnacle of the success of a wrestling career, where kids had this vision that's it. That's it. When I get there, I made it, and it's kind of it's a false peak essentially. So that's symbolism.
Perfect. That's perfect. Okay. Yeah. I thought, that makes a lot more sense because it's not particularly mountainous. All right, I really like that. That's a good one to end on. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Tyler. We're ready to go. We'll be back next Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll definitely be talking about a new match. Maybe be able to announce Luke Pletcher's opponent as well. You're going to like it. You're going to like it all. We're about 2 weeks away from our mega card, July 25th. Dake Chamizo, Downey Taylor, Roman Bravo Young, Jack Mueller, and more to come. So get excited. We thank you so much for listening. Thank you for so faithfully watching FRL and consuming our content and all this stuff. We'll be back. Hope you have a great weekend.
Free Britney.
Free Britney. Free your mind, and the rest will follow. See you guys. Thank you. Do you watch a lot of film? Do you watch a lot of wrestling outside of your own matches?
No,